Hello everyone, welcome back to another Sims video. It has been quite a while since my last one, so I've done just the one Sims video before. It was building a tiny home, and this time I am building a Victorian house. So in the last video I just built, a pretty simple tiny house, and this time I feel like I perhaps don't have as much as an imagination as other simmers. So this Victorian home is actually based on a real home that I know well, so that is why it kind of has this sort of square shape, apart from these big bay windows at the front. I know a lot of simmers can just wing it when it comes to a house, and I am hugely impressed by those people, because I would be here for a very long time if I were trying to just wing it. So this video is much longer than my last one, but I thought that perhaps, if you watch Sims videos as well as ASMR, you will know that most simmers will do speed builds as opposed to a real-time build. And I thought that was perhaps not the most conducive to ASMR, because everything sort of flies all around the screen. So it's in real time, which is why it is quite a long video. If you'd rather I did this in speed build mode, then feel free to comment and let me know. So I really struggled with building a roof that I liked. So this is a 3-bedroom home, but downstairs it has two I've forgotten what you call them, sitting areas, reception rooms I think is what you call them, at least in the UK. It has 2 reception rooms downstairs, one sort of family lounge, and then one playroom for the kids. And there's also a study downstairs, so it has the potential to have those 2 extra rooms downstairs as bedrooms. It also has a dining kitchen, so if you fancied, you could also turn that playroom into a dining room, because they are right next door to each other. I rather think that the house as it is right now looks like a man with 2 very big eyebrows, with those with the roofs over the bay windows. I have to admit that when I build in The Sims, I will almost always use these doors, just because I really like them. And then I think the windows that I eventually go for are the windows that I usually use as well. So last time I did the house and then I did the outside, because I'm not much of a landscaper when it comes to The Sims. All the videos I watch are just gorgeous, the way they landscape. But for me, I cannot do that. Here I am changing the window for this room at the front because it's actually a bathroom, so I spend an awful lot of time trying to find a small window until I realize that small windows go at the top. So yes, I am not a very good landscaper. I'm usually, if I do any landscaping, it is just usually to pop down the gardening buckets or patches. I'm not entirely sure what you would call them. The buckets or the raised bed. And that's about it. I'm not one for trees in a garden because sometimes when I turn the camera, then a tree's in the way and that just is not fun for me. So I am not a tree in the garden kind of person. I'm usually, just the allotments or sometimes a pool. So at the, if you see this smaller back part of the house, and the real house, that is actually a garage. So I had to sort of faff to try and figure out. Oh, here's a tree in the way. I had to try and figure out just what I was going to put in the garage. But I think I managed to do kind of a good job. I also realized that after a lot of building that we were actually quite dark. So now this is quite bright. So I can see. Oh yes, and then I thought it might be interesting to do a platform because I remembered there is actually, is actually a raised house. And then I lost the door and couldn't figure out how to get it back. So I had to reapply the door. Another interesting thing about this property in real life is that it has a very large front garden and a very small back garden. And I don't think that works very well for The Sims because then everything just gets in the way as you play. So I made the back garden large and the front garden pretty much non-existent. At the side of this house, at the, I guess, right-hand side or the east, not entirely sure, at this side of the house, there's a sort of patio space. So I realized that I hadn't put windows on this side. So the patio space is here, and the space I've left just now is for a door to go out and, to have sort of meals when outside when the weather is nice. As I said before, this part of the house is actually a garage, so I kind of struggled with window placement and also with what to do. If you can see me slowly moving the windows right now, that is just me counting the spaces between the windows to make sure that they're evenly spaced. And now I'm happy. And I also overswing my mouse. I don't know why, but somehow I always manage to do that. So if you're watching, let me know in the comments below if you have or if you do play The Sims. And if you do, which has been your favorite Sim game so far. So for me, I've played The Sims 1 through 4. I am that old. Granted, I was a child when The Sims 1 came out. And I really liked all aspects of all the games. I really enjoy building the most on The Sims 4. But I think that The Sims either 2 or 3 would have to be my favorite. I really enjoyed the depth of the world. In The Sims 3, you had World Adventures, which was a lot of fun. You were able to raise horses. Of course, in The Sims 4, you have your farm and you have your cows and things. But oh yes, here I am. Move objects. Putting on the move objects cheat, trying to overlap all these flowers, but it didn't work. So I think I may try it again at some point actually, but I couldn't figure out how to overlap all of my flowers. First world problem. Yeah, so I really enjoyed The Sims 3 for all of the different variety that game brought. Oh yeah, as I was saying about the animals, when it was your horse, you were able to actually control it, whereas I feel like it's not so much control over your animals with The Sims 4. And then Sims 2, I just felt like, open for business. That was something that I really missed when I went to other Sims games. I really liked that you could run your own business and you could create toys and flowers and robots. I know they've brought some of those aspects to the other games, but there I am trying to move objects again. And I couldn't figure out how to get rid of the box. There you go. Control-Shift-C again. Oh, and I know they did have a sort of business pack in The Sims 4, and I was quite excited for that, but I just felt like it missed the mark compared to Open for Business, because they did such a good job with that. But I do enjoy The Sims 4. I have recently been doing their scenarios that you get. So they're kind of like challenges, and I like that because I find that if you're just, sort of playing a family, then you fall into the same sort of, oh yeah, they have to, find a partner, get married, have kids, get to the top of their career, and that's quite often not, when you do the same thing over and over, it's kind of can get boring. So I've just recently done the challenge or the scenario with the one young adult and then the three toddlers. And now my toddlers are just out of university. And so I have them at home again with their dad. And that's quite fun. Although I think they just actually put up scenarios the other day, so I might check them out. Oh, I really enjoyed the Magic Pack for The Sims 4 because one of the former toddlers is a witch, so I quite enjoy that aspect to it. Now here I am just faffing with bushes again. I tried to really get them close to the house, just so that it's quite neat. Yeah, I really struggled with overlapping the plants because I see simmers and they've got like all these bunches and bunches of plants all together, so it looks more natural, like, lots of wildflowers grow together. But I couldn't do that. I also thought I would put a hedge the whole way along, and then I realised how long that would take. Because in the UK, I find that most properties are separated by hedges rather than fences. The white picket fence thing is quite American, so and this is a Victorian house in the UK, so I was like, oh, I will go with a hedge, and then realized right here I see that you can do a hedge as a fence, and I forgot that you could do that, and I forgot that you couldn't do it on the border of the lot or the boundary, so I did it one click away, I guess, from the boundary. I also really like how here it rearranges the fence posts to look more natural when I delete the 2 spaces for the front path. So yes, tell me below what your favourite Sims game is and what your favourite aspect of it is. Forgot to mention that in The Sims 3 I also really enjoyed the mermaid packs. I'm working on the floor plan now. Yay. For a lot of Simmers, I noticed that they like I'm on the upstairs, by the way. I noticed that they like doing the outside way more than the inside, and for me that is not the case. I much prefer to do the inside. Not that I'm saying that I am good at it, I just really enjoy it. So I realized that before I could do the proper upstairs, I would need to figure out where the stairs go. Yeah, so I really liked the mermaids and running a resort that came with the Sims 3 Isla Paradiso pack. I I'm pretty sure that they're still making things for The Sims 4. They're still making. I'm not sure if they're making game packs or expansion packs, but they're definitely making stuff packs. So, there's perhaps still more content to come that will make it a more full game like I feel like The Sims 2 and 3 were. But so far it's just not my top game yet. Oh, now I realized that the windows didn't match. So I added another window. So the two rooms on the far side are the lounge and then the study. The two rooms here are I actually changed the size of that diner kitchen because it's way too small. But the room on the left is the playroom, and then you have the dining kitchen. Oh yes, so this is where I start to struggle a little because I realized that the garage wouldn't be that skinny. So I had to make a decision here about what I wanted to put here. So I just continued on to make the bathroom here and then turn the rest into the garage, which I turn into a gym / workshop / recreation area because there was a big empty space and I put a ping pong table in. Because I feel like a lot of American houses I have seen have ping pong tables in their garage. Or maybe that's just on TV. Yeah, so now that I have my stairs, I can floor plan the upstairs. Oh, except I decided I don't want the stairs there. There, moved them like one click. Oh, it's because there are 2 bedrooms on the other side that I need to make sure I can get a door for both of them. There we go. So the 2 bedrooms on the left are, I do one as a child's room and one as a teen room, and then the master on the right and an ensuite for the master. Oh yes, I'm putting a sort of banister around these stairs. Always weirds me out to see just an open stairs. I think probably because I've fallen down the stairs way more often than a normal human being should, so I always fence them off. Plus, I feel like that would be quite a hazard if your stairs were just open. Actually, kind of gives me the fear. So I went for a sort of. So, as the home is a Victorian home, I don't style it fully as a Victorian house. It's got all of the mod cons such as electricity and plumbing. Obviously, they had that in the early 1900s in the Victorian times, but yeah, they also have TVs and things like that. And a computer. So, it took me quite a while to decide if I wanted to make this more modern or if I was going to make it look, like there were still remnants of the Victorian past in the house, which is what is taking me so long to choose a couch. So I went for this wallpaper for the entire house. I think apart from either one or both of the kids' bedrooms, I think I made them all this wallpaper. I actually use this wallpaper a lot in my game, just because I feel like if I didn't, I would just be using the plain pastel paint all the time. And it's nice to have a little bit of texture on your walls. Here I was deciding what on earth to do because the room is very big. I think it's proportioned properly in regards to the other, into the real home, but it's also very, which is also a very long room, but then I really couldn't figure out how to furnish the room. I think when I play for myself, without having to make a fancy house, I will just fashion. I will just decorate it function over fashion. So I really wanted to make use of the bay window, and then I realized that, then the sofas really are way too far apart. But yeah, I definitely do function over fashion and always end up, no house plants, no pictures on the wall or anything like that. So it was kind of, I had to be more thoughtful when I built this house to actually add greenery and add photos and pictures on the wall. Even in my own home, I'm not a bits and bobs kind of person, no. I don't, I have very few pictures on my wall, and I have a few houseplants actually. I have more houseplants than pictures, but it still takes me a while to figure out what to decorate with in The Sims. Oh yes, I'm looking for a nice floor lamp to sort of fill out the space in this room. So I'd hope to match one floor lamp on either side of the couch because I quite like to make things even and have things match, but the room is really not the right shape for that. Oh, and here I could not figure out why this large bookcase would not fit in this space, even when I shift click. So I don't know if you're well versed with building in The Sims. Perhaps you don't play at all, or perhaps, you know, you've played other Sims games. Yeah, here I come with this bookcase again. Yeah, so perhaps you don't play The Sims, or perhaps you're just you prefer to just use ready made houses, or perhaps you even just, you know, build a little square box like I like to do. But you do so that you can see everything. It's not because you're lacking imagination. It's just much easier to see. Or that's what I tell myself. So yeah, if you shift click, then you can sort of swing when you're rotating. You can, like, if I were to use it right now, you can swing the chair sort of in any direction. And as you saw with the bookcase, I sort of moved it. I eventually let it snap to place, but you can move it so that it, you know, is not quite in line with everything, in case you wanted to put a few things in the same sort of area. After being unable to use to put the couch in the window, I had a little seating area in the couch. I thought that perhaps the people that live here could sit here on a sunny day and, you know, maybe watch their neighbors out the front windows. Oh yeah, so everything is kind of off kilter a little bit here, but I fix it. So don't worry. I know that was really bothering me when I was editing the video, but I fix it. Since the home is Victorian style, I decided to stick with that theme for, there we go, for the pictures on the walls. So it took me a while to find pictures that I like, and unfortunately they are the more expensive pictures, just because those are the fancier ones that would go in such a nice house. Yeah, here I am using the same wallpaper, but not in the garage, because I figure who would wallpaper a garage. So now we're into the playroom. So I sort of don't really include toddler toys in the playroom. I go for more children's toys. Of course, if I were to make this available to download, you could change it however you like, and, you know, maybe just have this as a dining area, as I said before, or maybe you will create extra space upstairs and make a toddler room. Maybe you'll change the teen room to a toddler room or a nursery or something like that. It would be completely up to you. I just made this into a sort of kids' room, kids' playroom. Yeah, I decided that the doll's house was too big and that I'd rather have an activity table at the window and facing outwards so that they can be inspired by outside on a nice day. So if you play The Sims 4, what is something that you will always have in your home? I think I always make sure that they have a bookcase, of course, so that they can study. Although I think in The Sims 4, it is much easier to learn while doing than it is to just read from the book, which is what I definitely did in The Sims 2. I think these bear chairs are super cute. I have, in a moment, I line them up and have, I think, the brown bear, a polar bear, and a koala bear, if I remember correctly. And I just think it was so, so cute. Of course, a koala is not a bear, it is a marsupial, but they're still called koala bears. Who was it a panda I go for, not a polar bear? I think in the with the triplets that I just made, I had a polar bear in their room. Oh yeah, so I thought that these were cute, and then I got to the princess and thought, maybe not. So I went for these cute, more nursery style pictures, but I thought maybe even there were pictures that the kids drew in the past, and the parents just decided to keep them, to frame them and keep them on the wall. And I thought that would be a nice touch. I have great camera work. I left a bigger space because I thought that I could put in a double stove, but I couldn't get this counter to work for one, and then I got it to snap. But yeah, I thought there was a double stove that wasn't sort of the, get to work stove or restaurant eating. I can't remember exactly what that pack is, but I just went for a single stove in the end, or cooker. I'm not entirely sure what you call them, or what they're generally called. I'd call it a cooker, but I think in the States it would be called a stove. So I usually, in my own builds, would start with, like the cheapest cooker and then eventually upgrade to the one that's like, same with the fridge, and then I would go for the one that's like 12 grand. But then I decided in this build that would be a bit crazy to go for the 12 grand one, because it would bump the price of the house way up. But I prefer the look of that one. I'm just sort of looking at this fridge and thinking, don't really like it. So I had this kitchen island be this size because it's quite proportionate to the real life one, and then realized that makes the dining area very small. So I do eventually delete it after a lot of faff. Realized I had the wrong cupboards because those had long handles and this one has small round handles. I thought it was cute how that snaps to a like corner cupboard with a glass door and plates in it. I am trying to shift click on top of the counter before realizing that you can't do that. I quite enjoy all the I quite like that they have so many of the little clutter items that you would find around a normal home. I think some of them are quite random, like you have piles of clothes and stuff like that, but I like especially in the kitchen where you have, there's the bowl of fruit, you have like kitchen utensils, there's tea with there, lots of different things. There you have detergent as well, but I think there's a whole separate laundry pack and I don't have that. So I think most of my packs are expansion or game packs. I don't have all of them yet. I do have quite a few. I have like the country one and I think it's country living. Well, to be fair, you see it as you go along here. I've got cats and dogs. I have university, get together because of the little icons. The acting one, I'm not sure what that's called. I have get to work. Yeah, I really don't know the name of the Sims 4 stuff packs. I share my Sims account with both of my sisters, so they have bought expansion and stuff packs on my account as well, so with their money. So I really don't know all of the names. There was a time when I would, when it was The Sims 2, I was always like desperately waiting for the next pack to come out and would always have money to like set aside ready for that because I would hear about it on their like social pages and their actual websites and things like that. It was before really social media was a big thing, I guess. But yeah, I would like sit and wait and hear the announcement and then watch all the videos. I think that's more difficult to do with The Sims 4 as well because they have all of the, there are so many stuff packs, there's so many like smaller packs that they didn't have so much with The Sims 2. Obviously, they did have stuff packs. Like I remember when Family Fun stuff came out, I was so excited to decorate my house, and even when I most recently played The Sims 2, I was building, the sort of fantasy bedroom and the like space and the underwater bedrooms and things like that. I thought they were just so cool. I think I'm trying to figure out how best to sort the floor plan here for the kitchen. Because I wanted there to be enough space for it to be a proper dining kitchen. Of course, there is enough room in the house to make an entire kitchen and then a separate dining room. But I quite like the kitchen diner. I think it's very quaint. Okay, so there I was trying to decide on curtains, and then I decided that I would just do that at the very end. I leave the lights and curtains until the very end of the build. The lights I just go for, apart from some of the ones that you see I actually use for decoration, I just go for the little spotlights in the ceiling because I prefer not to see lights when I play. I don't know if I'm strange in that fact, but I think, I prefer them to be out of the way, really. Oh yeah, so I'm quite a standard bathroom person. I'll just put in a sink, a bath, and a toilet, so I had to sort of think outside the box when it came to this large bathroom. I put in the counters and then I put in the decorations and made it way nicer than I usually would. Oh yeah, I go for the only sink that says, I go for the one that says bath sink. So I thought, hey, that's the one that I have to use in the bathroom, because the rest are sort of kitchen sink or industrial sink. Oh, another thing that I never put in my house is, so I feel really bad for my poor Sims, is a toilet roll holder. Not that, we see anything like that, thankfully, because that's too much detail in my opinion. But yeah, the toilet roll holder is something I rarely use. Also, bath towels and things. Like I said, I'm pretty boring when it comes to decorating a bathroom. I put in only the bare essentials. Oh yeah, I saw this one and I thought I liked the stars on the outside better than the shells, so I also think that the sink looks hilarious right now. It looks like Pac-Man from I'm pretty sure there was a TV show of Pac-Man who was always very smiley. Yeah, there was a Pac-Man TV show, I just looked it up. It does look like Pac-Man from the TV show. Oh yeah, so here I was struggling because for some reason I couldn't move this mirror up and down, even with the shift click that I'm using on the bathroom cabinets. So I just sort of had to move the bathroom cabinets instead. I think plants are a nice thing to have in a bathroom. So I tried for plants. I didn't have enough space on either side of the bath. And then that one is way too big for the counter. And I'm trying to pick plants that I haven't already used elsewhere in the house. Ah yes, the clutter category. Oh yes. Letters and things. I don't think I use the clutter category nearly often enough. Oh, it's funny, I just hovered over the heavy metal shelf and I really struggled to find that later on when I was in the garage. Sorry, I found something that I would like to use in the kitchen, so I scroll on over there. think the stars next to the item show that I haven't like used those or even, seen those in the game yet. So you can see how many things I do not use. Me struggling to place items. Oh yeah, I thought perhaps the medicine cabinet was blocking it, but it was really just the item wouldn't fit on that counter for some reason. So I think I gave up in there eventually. So here's the garage. This end I make into a workshop after I decide what to do with the walls, which I just gave a basic color on the walls, which I thought was quite, maybe it started off as white in the garage and then it, discolors because the garage is really cold and kind of damp. So yeah, I spent a bit of time looking for the workshop bench and I couldn't understand why I couldn't find it. And it's because I'd already scrolled past it. And this side I turn into a gym. I had initially intended to turn the entire garage into sort of a like workshop of sorts, and then realized that that would basically be me reusing the same like one or two items over and over again. So I made half of it into a gym. So it's quite good for the fitness conscious Sims. I also find all of the like motivational posters for that half of the gym and thought it was, or that half of the garage, and thought that was a nice touch. That's a cute mirror, that star mirror there. I think I've noticed that before. I also saw all the cracks and things and did consider putting those in the garage, but then I thought, with the nice wallpaper and with all of the potted plants and things, that these people are, quite conscious of their home, so they would definitely keep up with the uptake and wouldn't let, like flaking paint happen. Oh, and here's where I look for the shells for quite a while before realizing just where they are. Oh no, I think I grabbed the ping pong table first. I know I'm still looking for things to. Yeah, here's my ping pong table, but it's because I realized that there wasn't much more I could do in in the sense of building a workshop. Oh yeah, so I eventually found those shelves that I was looking for, and in the background you can see that I just set them up over like that. And I actually wasn't sure what to do with this room to begin with, this one that I'm about to turn into a study, because it's sort of like a rec room where in the actual house of this build, and I thought it would be more useful to the Sims in the household to turn this into a study. I find if I don't make a specific study room, then, well, sometimes I will put a desk in a bedroom, but sometimes I will just chuck a computer and a desk somewhere in a house, and then it looks kind of wonky and out of place to just randomly have it sitting in, well, usually an open plan living room is what I usually go for. And then there's just randomly a desk and chair and computer, and also randomly the chess set. I always like a chess set in my house. That's another answer to that question I had earlier about what do you usually put in a house. I will usually have a chess set so that, like, especially for my child Sims, so that they can raise their fun while also learning a skill. It's funny, for while I usually have a nice TV in a house, I rarely have the TV. I rarely have my kids watching the TV. Here I struggled to line this up because of how small this room is. And then I realized, hey, just tilt. I'm not sure what other picture I'm looking for in here. So if you saw the lights or lamps grow and then shrink, it's because I used the cheat for them to make them bigger and smaller. It's the, if you don't know it, it's to make them bigger and smaller. It is the sort of, I'm not sure the proper term for them, but the square brackets next to your P key on the keyboard. And that will make things, your objects, larger and smaller. I've used it quite a few times around the house, actually, particularly for paintings. And then I used it for like the lamps and for other decorations too, I think. Because it doesn't matter so much for decorations or lamps, but I think if you were to try to shrink a chair or something, you might run into like problems when you're trying to play. Hallways are also something I struggle with in The Sims, because my hallway right now is like completely empty. I don't have pictures. I don't have, it's not wide enough really. This one's a huge wide hallway, but it's not wide enough to sort of have like a side table or anything. I did try it for a while, but then, you know, if I came in carrying my groceries, it was just in the way and it just annoyed me, so I got rid of it. Thought it was quite cutesy and old-fashioned to put these like roses on the floor at the front door. So I did that. If you build yourself in The Sims 4, tell me what do you do with your hallways? I was watching a video from Sim Kim the other day, and she also said that she struggled with hallways, so that made me feel a lot better because she really knows what she's doing when she's building in The Sims. I eventually went for, I'm not sure if I do it now because I think I find the things later when I'm up in the bedroom, but I put like shoe racks and a coat rack because that's something that you would typically find at a front door. Oh yeah, I just decided on a picture for the moment. So I'm like, that takes up enough space, that's fine. But then I have a big empty space over here. These three pictures down at the bottom, the green one and then the one I have on the wall and the sort of desert one, I really like those pictures. And you can actually put them one on top of the other, and it's really cute. When I was doing I think it's the mansion Baden aspiration, I just chucked photos and pictures all over my house to try and get the value of the home up. So I had those three paintings stacked a lot. And then I remembered about shrinking paintings, so I would just buy the biggest, the most expensive paintings and then shrink them and put them all over my house. And then when I'd completed the aspiration, I just went around and deleted most of the decorations. So something I actually haven't explored on The Sims 4 yet is vampires. So I have never had a vampire sim. I've played on my sister's computer and she had a vampire. But I didn't really go much into it because I didn't want to, mess with her game. So again, we're outside. I went back outside instead of going upstairs for some reason. I think it's because I had just done the area by the door, so I wanted to do the outside part. So it took me a very long time to get a reasonably decent path from the front to the side garden, or the side patio area, I suppose. Dining area. Not sure what you would call it. So on the other side of the house, I actually leave things mostly untouched, because this is where the driveway actually is. So I wasn't sure what to do with that space. I could have turned it into a garden, for growing and things like that. But I just decided that if I were to upload, that whoever downloads can just decide what they would do with that empty space. So here I'm trying to make the front garden a little bit more green. Oh yeah, I'd originally thought to maybe put lavender in the bushes, and then I changed my mind. So I make this side more colourful. The other side was basically just green. I think I put in pops of mostly pink, I think, over at this side. Yeah. Had the two different kinds of pink bushes. Oh yeah, and I did manage to place some wildflowers too. I always find it funny when you find the good spot and then you try to, and then you accidentally move like a millimeter because you haven't realized, like your brain hasn't quite realized yet that you've found the good spot, and then you have to find it again and you struggle again. So I'm just trying to move all of the flowers closer. I put on another row of, I think, yellow flowers, just to make it a little more colourful at the front of the building. Yeah, I just put in the yellow flowers there as well to make it more colourful and to make it seem more natural, that just like flowers and bushes and things were just growing all together. Yeah, they're going over to the other side, like, how did I fit 3 on that side, but I can't fit 3 on this side? And I think it just decided, oh well, it happened. Don't remember if I managed to squeeze 3 in here or not, or if I move it so that I do. Yeah, it did. I thought so. I like things to be even, as I said before. So for some reason I start with the bathroom. I've just realised that I didn't do the flooring for the rest of the house yet, because it sort of sticks with this sort of grey, to say cement slabs or something. So yeah, I sort of realise way further down the line, because usually I go for sort of, if I'm not going for a wooden floor, I'll go for a light floor, so a white or a grey. So I think my brain just hadn't quite figured out yet that I hadn't carpeted the floor. So this is the family upstairs bathroom. I think the downstairs bathroom is much nicer. But it's quite a small bathroom for some reason. In the real house too. And now moving on to the teen bedroom. And I'd kind of run out of ideas at this point, so I went to the pre-made rooms. And to be fair, I think I was already 3 hours into the build. I cut quite a lot. So yeah, I went to the pre-made rooms and sort of took a lot of the items from that to make a nice teen room. And I went for, there's, as you can see at the bottom, there's a pink room, a blue room, and an orange room, and I went for the orange room to make it more neutral, I suppose. I also think that orange is a really nice color. Like that shade of orange. I like that the egg-shaped seat is called the hard boiler. Oh yeah, I didn't like the built-in wardrobe, so I went for my own chest of drawers. I decided against putting a computer in the kids' room, or this teenage room, I think at least. No, I put a computer in. To start with, I decided I would not put a computer in, and then I was like, well, the alternative nowadays is a phone and a computer screen. At least you sit up properly at and don't have your head bowed down over something. I also thought that unorganized documents would be appropriate for a teenager's desk. And then a lava lamp, which is still quite, probably not so appropriate for a teenager now. Lava lamps are kind of, well, although I have seen them again. Maybe you're coming back in fashion. Oh yeah, the chair I couldn't decide on earlier. I grab a chair now. Not the egg one though. I was wondering if I left it that color because nothing else in the room is like that sort of color. And here we have the child's room. That they would be a big animal lover, particularly dogs. So again, I use a pre-made room, but not the same one, a different one. I'm not entirely sure if it's specifically a child's room. I think so. Yeah, Best Pet Pals. That's what it's called. So, although I would say that's more of a cat than a dog bed. You do get dogs that have sticky up ears though. So I pretty much used everything in this room because I thought it was really, really cute. I've never actually used this template before. So yeah, I pretty much used everything. And there is room, of course, if you decided that you wanted to bring a dog into the house for the dog-loving child, then there's definitely room to do so. You could have some of that empty hallway space and use it as a, pop a dog bed there and like some dog bowls and things. Or you could make it a part of the playroom, because I'm sure the child that belongs to this bedroom would love that. Since I deleted the doll's house downstairs, I decided to go for a doll's house up here. Except this is a castle, so much more, I don't know, dog friendly. Not particularly, I suppose. It's funny, as I was scrolling through these, I was like trying not to hover over for too long to not make the video so long. But some of the things I was like, ooh, that's interesting, and I did pause to read a few things. So now on to the master bedroom. I figured that the person or the parents quite liked the modern style. As you have seen, the whole house is sort of being much more modern than the outside would suggest, or the fact that it is Victorian style would suggest. So I went for quite a neutral coloured room, mostly whites and a little bit of green, because I thought the green went really well with the wallpaper. But it's mostly white. I'm more of a white furniture kind of person myself, so I think it was the same in the last build I did, actually. I like the cleanness, I guess, of white, and so most of my builds end up with white furniture. Again, I sort of struggled with what to put in the bay windows here, so again, I go for the chairs in front of the window, I'm pretty sure. I just thought this would be sort of a nice place for the parents to just maybe sit down at the end of the day. You know, maybe they've just gotten home from work and showered, or, you know, they're just getting ready for bed and maybe they're having a little nightcap in their nice big bay window after, or maybe they've just put the kids to bed and they're not quite ready to go downstairs yet because maybe one of the kids wakes up a little bit, and so they're just chilling upstairs so they don't have to go down and then come all the way back up. I think we've all been there, hung around close by because we just have this feeling that the kid is going to wake up. And usually, you're right. Oh, I found this knife block and was like, oh, hey, could put that in the kitchen. Be strange to have it in a bedroom. But I just was like, oh, that's something extra, like extra character we could add to the kitchen. Oh yes, I put a notebook there, so maybe they're just relaxing at the end of the day and writing down in their journal or something like that. Here I am actually reading what these things are this time. Oh yeah, here I find the shoe rack and pop them down at the front door. I think actually if I were to have that in my own house, I'd have that the other way around. Take off your shoes first and then your jacket. Oh yeah, at this point the lot is worth 112,000. It doesn't go up too much more than that because after this ensuite bathroom, all I change on the inside is to add the lights and the carpets, and then on the outside I have the dining area that I was speaking about before. And then because I still felt like the outside was rather empty, I added a pool. And in the back garden, I sort of made that a kids area. So I think I put in no slide. I put swings and the monkey bars. Does it ever happen to you when you're playing The Sims that that your counters just won't click together? I don't know why, but that seems to happen for me a lot. I went for a different sink this time, not the Pac-Man sink. Garlic scented mirror. I didn't notice that before. Oh, again, I couldn't get the mirror to move up. It was a different mirror, so I thought it would be okay, but it's okay. I decided not to do the medicine cabinets in this bathroom so it doesn't look so wonky. Oh yes, I was trying to line up the towel rail with the top of the counter. It's another thing that I think makes the Sims 4 much easier is you know, you don't need to put cheats on to move an item exactly where you want. You just hold down a key and then it's easier. Oh yeah, I tried to put the tooth brushes in the family bathroom and then realised that it doesn't fit on the sink. I have the counter this way, and I end up putting candles on it, but I really don't know why I have it facing this way. I think if I go back into this lot, I would turn it so that it matches the other ones. It also took me a very long time to find the candles, I remember. I think it's because they're actually in lights rather than decorations. Oh, there they are. They are in decorations. As I said, I do add curtains at the very end. So I suppose that's another expense that I have. That I have to add. So if you're still awake as this video is on, I want you to let me know, if you would please, if you would like to see another house build in The Sims, and if you would you rather a speed build for next time? Because I think I'd probably put it in double speed, so then it would be half the time, which would make it about a 45-minute video, which is more standard for ASMR videos. Whereas just now it's at the 1:37-ish mark, which is quite long. But I didn't want people to get like a little seasick because I like spin around the houses and things. Or house, not houses. Oh, again, I was left with a large empty hallway and wasn't sure what to do with it. Don't remember what I do actually do with it, or if I perhaps just leave it. Unless I put in a chess table. Sounds like something I would definitely do. Which isn't in this category, it's in the other one. Unless I put a painting easel. Now I remember what I put here. I remember when I first played The Sims and realised you had to paint for pay. Oh, I do put in also a chess table. When you have to pay for your canvases to paint on. And I thought, oh, you know, what a rip-off. But obviously, you know, you create masterpieces. And I think I've sold masterpieces for about 3,000 simoleons before. So the £100 for the large canvas doesn't seem like so much in the end. Oh yeah, I have some nice little wall sconces in the hallway, but I think I only end up putting them in the hallway. So as you can see on the inside just now, I did actually put wall sconces on through the whole hallway, but that was the only area in the house I put them. So I think I didn't realise that I had run out of video. The screen recorder I use, for some reason, only records for 5 minutes at a time, which made the editing process for this video quite long. And I've also tried to do the voiceover on 3 or 4 separate occasions. The first 2, I ran into issues with my video editing program, so I had to then export the video without sound and then watch it separately, and then I will have to add sound on top, which I would have had to do anyway. But I would have added it to the same file rather than have to export it in the first place. And the third time, my neighbour, I have quite noisy neighbours, so I didn't realise the time when the child had already come home from school. And yes, I think that's, if you have children neighbours or neighbours who have children, and you guys share a wall, then you will know exactly what I'm talking about, especially if your walls are thin and rubbish. So as I said before, I hadn't originally intended to put a pool in the garden, but then there was this big empty space, and I thought, I do quite like a pool if I'm playing. Not always, but I'm all about, when I'm playing, I'm all for Sims doing fun things that will also help to get their skills up. So that's why I kept the pool in the garden, or built the pool in the garden in the first place. And now I think moving on to the back garden. I placed all of the spotlights, I've just noticed, while I was off camera. I think I also might have done the floors. I don't know why I did that off camera. Yeah, so the back garden I just went for, when I found it, outdoor activities, I just went for toys and, a playground for the children. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and let me know if you would like another one, and if so, if you would like it in regular speed or perhaps in double time.